Hey guys, I am going to finally do my April wrap up. You know, you know what's going on. My brain hasn't been 100% there. It's the 24th of June and I have finished 0 books so far this month. This is not a weekly update, so I'm gonna stop talking about that kind of stuff. But yeah, basically, my issue is that when I say I'm going to do something, I want to actually do it. And the way that I had been filming my like book reviews was like in batches of 5, and I really wanted to film the other batch of 5 that I'm missing. That includes 3 books in this pile of books that I finished in the month of April, and so I didn't want to film this until I filmed that. But it's been so long at this point, so I'm just like over it, and maybe I will come back to it later. But I feel like if I'm so fixated on like this idea of what I want to be doing that it's like preventing me from even filming a video, then I should just like let it go. Specifically because, hello, please, I'm trying to give away 2 books in this video, and so I feel really bad that people entered a giveaway and they're like, when, am I gonna find out if I won or not? So you're gonna find out if you won or not right now. So I'm gonna do that first. So I'm gonna put pictures of the books right here. The first one that I'll do is the giveaway for Midnight in Chernobyl, which all of you should probably know how I feel. I didn't get a little cup because I'm lazy. There were less people that entered for Midnight in Chernobyl, of course. And again, I am mailing you my copy. I'm not holding it because I've washed my hands today, obviously, multiple times, but I didn't want to touch it. I want to like wash my hands to wrap it and then send it just to be on the safer side. Yes, there's a handful of people that entered. So for Midnight in Chernobyl, the winner is Grace Eckmeyer. Was that right, Grace? I'm so sorry. So Grace, you just won my copy of Midnight in Chernobyl. Congratulations. So send me a message. If I don't hear from you in like a week, then I will reach out to you. But again, I think it's kind of fun to like find out in the video if you've won, so I don't like to contact people until I've waited a bit. So yes, there are more entries for Say Nothing. Oh, I guess I should make sure I save her name. I guess I can always rewatch this, but I don't want to lose that. All right, so Say Nothing. So many people. Thanks everyone for entering my giveaway too. It makes me happy. All right. Katie at Homo Librariansis. That's librarian. Homo Librariansis. I'm sorry, Katie. That's terrible of me. But anyways, yay! You won a new copy of Say Nothing because obviously I'm not getting rid of mine. So again, send me a message. And yeah, so this video I can already tell is going to be way too long because I'm at 3 minutes and I've not talked about anything. So first I'll just talk about, I guess we'll just rank the books. I am going to link below where I've talked about the books if I have talked about them. And if I haven't, then I will just talk about them very, very briefly. So the first book, or I'm ranking these again, worst to best, that I disliked the most is Everything in Its Place by Oliver Sacks. I just found this to be horribly boring. I will link below my BookTube prize wrap up for the first round where I talked about this. It just like, for me, is just so boring. It's not even that it's bad, it's just like horribly boring, and I just do not care. Next is Black Hole by Charles Burns, and I will link below. I think I did talk about this one. Graphic novel, very sexy and inappropriate. Sexy is not the right word because it's not like sexy, but there's a lot of sexy things. You know what I'm saying, right? Sex-related things that happen in this because it's about STD, basically. Then The Return of Munchausen by Sigismund Biscuits Krzyzanowski. I know. If Michael comes at me, I'm sorry. This is translated by Joanne Turnbull and with Nikolai Formazov. And I do have an individual review of this book because it was for the Indie Press Project that I read this. Then I have Slow Boat by Hideo Furukawa, and this is translated by David Boyd. And this is like, I think I also talked about this, so I will link it below, but really slow, sad man recounting lost loves kind of thing. So totally my jam. Really liked it. I liked basically most of these books. The only one that I didn't like is the Oliver Sacks one. Then I read, or not then I read, the next book is The Tradition by Jericho Brown. This is a poetry collection. So good. This is the only thing I've read by Jericho Brown so far. Poetry is really difficult for me, so that's the only reason why this isn't ranked higher, because you kind of forget things. I feel like poetry is something that you need to reread, and there is, it's just so good. Obviously, I would love to read you guys a poem, but this video is really long, so I might read bullet points, one of his poems in this, but I will read it at the very end of the video so that I don't have to bore y'all with that right now if you don't want to listen. But if you want to, then you can stick around to the end, and then you'll hear horribly depressing and beautiful, and yeah. Okay, the next book is Pretty Things by Virginie Despentes. We'll pretend that I remember to pronounce that properly. Translated by Emma Ramadan, and I have a review for this book as well because I also read this for the Indie Press Project, so I will link that below. Really graphic, really good. I enjoyed this a lot. And then next, that I didn't talk about that I would like to talk about a little bit, is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. This book is so good. Okay, so this is the second book in the Hainish series, Hainish cycle. I don't think I'm saying that right. I don't even know if that's right at all. Is that right? Y'all know, because you guys are better than me about this kind of stuff. But anyways, it's part of a series of books that take place in the same kind of universe, but each book is obviously on different planets and following different people. I can't speak. I haven't talked in front of the camera in a minute. And yeah, this is, I forget which number, 4, 6, 8, somewhere in there. And we are following an alien that has landed on a planet. And this alien is trying to convince the people of the planet that aliens exist, and to join like this intergalactic trading kind of thing. And it's so good. I feel like the thing that most people, also this cover is so pretty, but it is very hard, I feel like, to show you guys it. I think the thing that people typically focus on the most is the sex or gender of people on this planet. So the alien is technically a human, obviously in the future though, and so the planet that this person has landed on is a planet in which no one has a fixed gender or sex. I guess sex would be the more appropriate word because it's like anatomical. Everyone's kind of like in a neutral state, and then when they become sexually aroused, they kind of like sway to like a female or male sex, and then if they're around another person, that person becomes the opposite, so that coitus can happen. So that's like, I think, what people mostly talk about when they talk about this book, which is obviously super interesting, and it makes you think a lot about how, not only I feel like gender, but like biological sex is so, important's the wrong word, but it kind of like dictates so much of our society. Obviously things are changing, which is really exciting. But in general, like the women are the ones that have to stay at home with the babies because the women are the ones that make the babies, which means that the women are the ones that are good at taking care of the babies and like nurturing and da-da-da. And it's just like really interesting to think about a world where that is not how it happens. And I do think that is really interesting. I do think that a little bit more interesting to me, though, personally, is like the political landscape of this land in which the alien has landed. He lands on the side of the planet where it's ruled by a king, and so the other side of the planet, and again, I don't know if it's planet or land, it's not like 100% specified. It kind of feels like it could be like North and South America, or something like they're two different like ruled peoples and lands, but I don't know how large the planet is, so I don't know if there's other people on the planet besides these two kingdoms. Anyways, the other one is more of like a democratic or like elected or parliamentary type system, where there's multiple people kind of making the rules and the laws, and it's just so good because he lands on the side of the king, and it's like the king is, kind of like crazy because he wants things. He's very like overtly aggressive and like not understanding, and he doesn't want to be made a fool and all of this stuff. And so he goes to the more quote unquote reasonable side, which is the side where there's multiple people in charge. And then it turns out that that is like not super great. And there's lots of really great vocabulary, not language that Ursula uses to demonstrate how like basically corrupt that is, and how, you know, is it better to have someone who is, you know, not great to your face, or is it better to have someone pretend to be really nice and then really like behind your back kind of stab you multiple times and let you bleed out basically. So I really, to me, I found that fascinating because I really despise people and beings that act like they're, you know, better than other people, and it's like I'm morally correct and I am, you know, doing the good thing and da 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 da, but really they're not, they're terrible. That to me is a particular kind of evil. It's like a I just can't stand it. So I did think that was really interesting. Also, I think the way this book is written is super interesting. It's, you know, basically because the alien has landed on this planet. I'm sorry guys, I really wanted to talk about this book in like the other video, but I just like couldn't deal, and I couldn't do it. So in it's written as kind of like a diary format, or like you're being told the facts afterwards, and you're not really told anything specific. So it does take a little bit of work because you're not, you know, given here's, you know, A is this and B is this and C is this. You have to figure it out on your own, which is really interesting. But then also within the narrative is dispersed like source documents that explain things. So you're given an idea of what's going on, and then you're given a document. Once you've gotten to the point where like you're 3/4 of the way understanding something, you're given like a document that like fully describes it. So it kind of just like clinches that last little bit for you, which is just like so good. She's such a good writer. I really, really, really liked this. So that was so good. And then my number one book of the month, The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. I am horribly upset that this was knocked out of the BookTube prize. Don't even talk to me. I need to film my video still. I don't think I'm going to do it today because this is like already, I feel like emotionally taxing enough because I'm such a whiner. But I need to talk about the books that I had in the BookTube prize category that this was in, because this book was so good and I don't understand how it was knocked out, and how A Woman Is No Man is still in the running, because that book was okay. That's okay. We'll talk about it next time. I promise I'll talk about it. So this book is so good. I cried a lot. I don't understand why people are not huge fans of this book. I feel like I've heard multiple people say negative things about Colson Whitehead after reading like The Underground Railroad and The Nickel Boys, which is so weird because those are the only two books of his that I've read, and I found both of them to be just like close to perfect. So I don't know. I guess different opinions, different strokes for different folks, whatever. In this book, we are following. Oh, you know what? I am going to talk about it in my BookTube prize wrap up video. So I'm not going to talk about it. I forgot I already filmed that clip of it. So I'm not really going to talk about it right now. But it is heartbreaking, and we're following a young boy that is basically wrongfully imprisoned, and then other things happen, and it's really, really good. It's really good. Again, once the problem is that I haven't posted that video, so I can't link it below where I talk about it. But you know what this book is, so you know if you want to enter. So on that note, obviously, this is the book that I will be doing my giveaway for. So if you want to enter, I will attempt to, I really will. I feel like I always say that I'm going to try to not wait so dang long to film the next video. And I really, really am, because most of the books that I finished in the month of May were the BookTube prize books, and I'm going to do a video for that, so it should be okay. But yeah, so I'm going to be giving away a copy of this book, so if you would like to win a copy, it's going to probably be paperback if that's available, because, you know, I got to pay for a wedding, so I'm not about to buy hardcover if a paperback's available. But if you'd like to win a new copy of this, just enter below. And it is, I feel like other people have like been saying like, oh, you know, international shipping and stuff. Please enter even if you're international. I'm trying to just buy from like a local store that's local to you and have them ship it. So I don't think that that's an issue. And if it is, like, worst comes to worst, I could use Book Depository, even though I don't want to, because they're owned by Amazon, and Amazon, or like yeah, I think their own Amazon bought Book Depository, and I hate Amazon with most fibers in my being. Just, because they're opportunistic and terrible and all of the reasons. I'd rather support indie bookstores, but I would rather have you be happy. So please enter, even if you're international. That's cool. And then I'm also going to be giving away my copy of Everything in Its Place by Oliver Sacks because I thought this book was a total snooze. Obviously, you're probably not super compelled to receive this copy because of how I've spoken of it, but I feel like everyone, again, has different opinions. Maybe you read some of his books and thought they were interesting and you'd like to try this, and trying it for free is the best way to try it. And I'm not buying you a new book, I'm just sending you mine, so it's really like no pressure. You can just give it away to someone else if you don't like it, like, that's fine. But on that note, this book will not be an international one because I have to send it and pay for shipping. But yeah, so if you would like to win either of these books, let me know below in the comments. And also please tell me specifically what book you'd like to be entered to win for. If you just say I'd like to win, I'm not going to know if you want both or one or the other or whatever. So yes, that is all of that. So now I'm just going to talk about my bullet journal a little bit and then other stuff. So I don't love my cover page for the month of April. I think it's kind of boring, but I was just, I don't know. I didn't try that hard. So that is my April, thing. With regards to my like TBR page, I just really gave up. I think I didn't really read a ton, as you can see, but I've got so many cute stickers, so it makes up for it. I try to do the owls. Don't care at all about that. I don't know why. Oh, and I got so many books in the month of April. So I'm going to show you guys some of them. In just a second, I'm going to do a little book haul. What is on my shirt? I think I got lotion on it this morning. So I bought, basically I bought a bunch of books for the BookTube prize. So I read I read all of those books in the month of May. But I also got some books from Julie, who's a viewer. She's moving in with her fiance. And so, when you move, and especially when you move in with someone else, you got to like get rid of some stuff. So she sent me some books, which is so exciting. So those are the ones that I have right here. And yeah, let me see. I've got my, my graphic. You could see I had 2 good weekends, and that's pretty much it. And then also Julie sent this in the box. So I taped it into my bullet journal because I love it. Although the only problem with that is that now it's in my bullet journal. I only washi taped it in, so I can always take it out if I want to, and I probably will because I really, really like it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've got like my picture of me because I was like, oh, the owls, and then I just gave up completely. So on that note, let me find, is this video too long? You can tell me in the comments if it's too long. I won't be offended. I think it's too long. So in the month of April, I've got my little book balance sheet. I ended up plus 5 books, which is not too bad considering how many books I got, plus 1,101 pages. So, not ideal, but that's okay. So let me show you guys the books that Julie sent me. This isn't all of them because she did send me some like literary journals, and I've shelved those because I keep forgetting that I count them as books. So I put those, I've got like I have a whole bookcase of just anthologies and literary journals because I am obsessed, but it's over. You can't see it. It's over there. So anyways, if these have translators, I'm not going to state them, and I don't know what any of these books are about. I haven't heard of any of them, so it's good. So the first one is Shalcott Crescent by Faye Weldon, and it's Europa. Then Waves by Bei Dow. And this is stories. Oh, this one is translated by Bonnie S. McDougall and Suzette Turnant Cook. I will say that because I don't have to go searching for it, so that's easy. Then The Attraction of Things by Roger Lewinter. And this one's translated by Rachel Caro. Then a Jose Saramago book, The Year of the Death of Ricardo Reyes. So that's fun. I'm sure that's translated. Then Charisma and Disenchantment, The Vocation Lectures by Max Weber. I don't know why that was so hard to come out of my mouth. If you're still watching this, kudos, thank you. Then Portraits Without Frames by Lev Ozerov. And is translated by Maria, is translated by a lot of people. Let's just keep moving. Oh my gosh, my computer fell asleep because I haven't touched the mouse. And the last one is The Brotherhood of Book Hunters by Raphael Jerusalemi. So I feel like she sent me, I don't know, I feel like she probably on purpose. I feel like a lot of these are translated and then again the literary journals, which is so, so sweet. I feel so, so blessed. That's like just so kind. So yeah, so that's that, and then I'm just gonna talk about the movies, and then I'll read you a poem, and then I'll let you go, even though you're probably gone already, guys. I see. This is why I need to talk about the books in separate videos because I just can go on and on. So in the month of April, I watched a bunch of films, and most of these are for the like movie book. The movie book club, the movie club that I've got that I'm part of. So did I? Yeah, I'm so confused. Okay. So the first movie was Tehran Taboo, which was just so incredible. I'm gonna link trailers for all these below, and then hopefully I will have put a movie poster right here. But this is like one of those movies that's animated, but also kind of not animated. It's that weird thing. I don't know what it's called. It's called something specific, but I'm not a movie buff, so I don't know. But it's all about like the underbelly of Tehran, and it was, whew, I cried a lot. It was really, really good. I gave that 4 stars. And then when we watched Burning, featuring, oh my gosh, what's his name? Glenn from The Walking Dead. I can't think of his name. But this is kind of like a slow, creepy thriller type thing. Also really good. And then we watched Mon Oncle, which is a like more of a comedic movie about an uncle, and that was like to me, just like experience wise, watching that movie was the funnest because we're not watching it like, you know, legitly. So the way that it was really funny because you had to be there. Then we watched Pan's Labyrinth, so good. Dark Waters. Why am I even doing this? Dark Waters was super, super good. Dark Waters is the movie about, I forget what the guy's name is, but he's a lawyer that basically looked into DuPont. He's played by Mark Ruffalo, but that's obviously not the real person. I would really, really suggest that movie because it is based on a true story. Obviously, it's this guy's life and like what actually happened. And it's just sickening to see how that one was kind of the most like downer of a movie, even though all of them were kind of heavy. But it just really just shows you how disgusting these corporations are and how they really do not give a shit about any of us. All they care about is making cash, and that is literally it. They will kill us to make $1, and it is sickening. So you should just watch it so that you can feel really good and throw out all your Teflon, because Teflon is garbage and it stays in your body forever. So if you've got Teflon at home, ditch it, go get cast iron or whatever. I've got, I think, stainless steel and some other stuff, but I'm just like so paranoid now because I'm just like, stainless steel, like what if that, like, da 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 da, I don't know. I need to look into things. I'm too lazy to have cast iron because it's so heavy and you have to season it and stuff. So stainless steel is how I'm going right now. Then we watched Cold War, which is, I forget what country it's from. I don't know, but it's like a really beautifully, it's honest, the music was just stunning, the cinematography was stunning, it's black and white. I forget what country exactly where it's set, but it's kind of like the love story of these two people during the Cold War, I guess. I don't remember like exactly the time frame. It must be, or else it wouldn't be called that. But it's just so beautiful, and like my auditory senses were just on fire. It was beautiful. Then we watched Happy as Lazzaro, which is also another really beautiful movie. I love this one, but it was also kind of sad about this young man named Lazzaro who is like living. It's kind of actually screwed up because it is very screwed up. So basically, these people, I think, I forget what it is, but like feudal. I don't know. It's basically back in the day, you know, kings or whatever or lords owned property and the people worked them, and So it was like this specific, it was kind of like they were indentured or slaves or whatever, but they weren't, it's not quite the same, but it's the same kind of concept where these people don't have anything of their own and they just work for this lord. Um, and so, but that system was gone many years ago, but they didn't get the memo, so they just kept working there. And so then eventually, um, they're kind of like they're kind of freed. Um, and so it kind of shows you like what happens after that. But it's really sweet, and he comes back and like helps people. It's I think it was so beautiful and emotional, and I cried a lot. And the young guy, he's like almost he's like got the purest, kindest heart, and so like he only um like the way that he acts is like he just expects and assumes that everyone else is acting in a kind way, and that like no one would do anything to like rip anyone off or like be cruel or whatever. Like he doesn't like he does not understand that concept. And so watching him interact with people, it was just absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna cry again just thinking about it. And then obviously I watched Tiger King because I'm a human being that exists in these United States. Then I watched Les Coquillettes. I downloaded a thing called Mubi, which I'll link below, but they basically put like a new movie up every day, and then a movie goes away every day. So it's kind of like a rolling, 30-day window that you can watch a movie. We haven't watched a movie in a while. I should look into it. But all the movies are like really obscure, or they're foreign, or they're very strange. And so I think this is the first one that we watched, and it's just about it's French, it's three girls that are going to like a movie a movie festival, a festival. And so it's just like them and their time, and they're like all three like, pretty down to get down, if you know what I mean. And so it's just them like recounting their story, and they're so clueless about things, especially one of them. That was a really, really good time. I gave that 4.5 stars. Then watch Sorry to Bother You. If you haven't watched Sorry to Bother You, you should really watch it. I'm in love with Tessa Thompson. I think that's her name. The girl from that. She is just amazing. We're rewatching Veronica Mars, and she plays Wallace's girlfriend for part of that too. And I just like, she's just so great. I feel like she should be. I think she's kind of getting there, like where she's becoming more famous. But I love her. That movie is crazy. Sorry to Bother You. It is bonkers. I can't even really describe it. You just have to watch it and expect that you might feel sick during it, because you will feel ill. It's a perfect movie to watch, like specifically in this moment, because it is like very about race and about class and about all these things and about how people like keep oppressing, and how like the tricks and stuff that people do to do that, and like to otherize and stuff. It's so good. Oh god, but also it's disgusting. It's gonna take me a long time before I can rewatch that movie. And then we watched a movie called Tip Top, and this is another French movie from the Mubi like app thing. And this was really weird. It's like basically an informant gets murdered, and so an investigator comes in to try to like discover how, maybe like someone sold the person out, or like how, his identity was discovered and why he was killed. And that's like the general plot, but it's mostly really funny because the two detective ladies are like very very weird. It's another like two women that are very randy and being very odd. So yeah, that was also really fun. I gave it 4 stars. And that is it. So I'm just gonna read you guys a poem from the traditions. Really weird transition, because this is gonna be really emotionally heavy, and I was just talking about women being sexually crazy. So I apologize for that. This again, so good. So this poem is called Bullet Points. We did see Jericho Brown at the Portland Book Festival, and so it was him and Malcolm Tariq, and then oh gosh, I can't remember her name, but her poetry collection is Ugly Music. She's Dominican. I need to read that one also, so I'm gonna read this one for the Indie Press Project very soon. So yeah, so he read this poem, and obviously it was so heartbreaking. Bullet points. I will not shoot myself in the head, and I will not shoot myself in the back, and I will not hang myself with a trash bag, and if I do, I promise you, I will not do it in a police car while handcuffed, or in the jail cell of a town I only know the name of because I have to drive through it to get home. Yes, I may be at risk, but I promise you, I trust the maggots who live beneath the floorboards of my house to do what they must. To any carcass more than I trust an officer of the land to shut my eyes like a man, of God might, or to cover me with a sheet so clean my mother could have used it to tuck me in. When I kill me, I will do it the same way most Americans do, I promise you. Cigarette smoke or a piece of meat on which I choke, or so broke I freeze in one of these winters we keep calling worst. I promise if you hear of me dead anywhere near a cop, then that cop killed me. He took me from us and left my body, which is, no matter what we've been taught, greater than the settlement. A city can pay a mother to stop crying, and more beautiful than the new bullet fished from the folds of my brain. So yeah, you should read this. I'm gonna go now.